Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny. And we're here with the man, a true Phoenix legend, Mr. Adrian Garcia.
Thank you, man.
How are you, bro?
I'm doing good. Doing well, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you gifting me some stickers too. These are fucking awesome
Thank you.
stuff.
Likewise, too, man. Heck yeah, I
Hell
got me
yeah,
some
man.
stickers, man.
Sticker swap. We're out here.
Add to the collection.
Hell yeah. So, bro, you are a very versatile guy. You're involved in a
Yeah.
lot of different things. We just recently had a First Friday, and I know you're very involved in First Friday. Love to kind of get into that a little bit.
So, I am the artist coordinator for Family First Friday in downtown Phoenix at the Arizona Center, located on 3rd Street in Van Buren. But I think in October of 2024, I had was approached with the opportunity to create a Family First Friday environment at the Arizona Center. And once I was approached by the cruise director there, which is an amazing partner in this this journey, had I kind of knew the direction I wanted to go. I wanted to create that the original art walk that was in downtown Phoenix, and I knew tons of friends. I had tons of friends, artists, whether they had the medium of painting with acrylics or canvas or sculpting or whatever, and I got everybody together. I got one of my good friends, which is our DJ, which his name is DJ Phil the Vibe. Brought him on because he has a great selection of music. He goes around the world with his music every first Friday, and we tried something out on October of 2024, and it was great. It was amazing. What we do is we provide space for up and coming, mid level or professional artists to come in and just to paint. Just giving them some space. We don't charge for the space for the booth that they have and or the parking and stuff, and we just have them create. Now, a lot of these artists that come on board have painted. I've seen them before. I've seen them maybe out at some of the events I've been around in different parts of the valley, or just friends of mine that I wanted to invite and just really just see what they got. Were they nervous? Absolutely. Having 30, 40 artists paint live at one time, and you haven't done it before, it could be a little bit nerve wracking, but everybody's settled in. And man, the rest is history, bro. We've had so many great events at the Arizona Center. It's open to everyone, all ages, all I can't say all mediums because one of the things we don't have is spray paint because of how our community is so close together.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of hard to just kind of have that medium in the evening and stuff that we do. But it's been great, man. We've had a lot of pop-ups that come through with us. We've had it grow. We've probably had over 200 artists during this whole time that have came through. Some are really have done a really amazing job that they no longer come because they've on to the next level, their next adventure or journey, painting murals, painting live at other events, getting booked and stuff like that. So it's been really great. We also have an arts and crafts table that my admin coordinates and stuff. Her name is Abby. Shout out to Abby for holding it down. And just we have these free things, these free arts and crafts that the kids can do, whether they're painting little globes or these little frogs, because that's the mascot of the Arizona Center is the little frogs. They come and they paint that and stuff. And all these things are supplied to us in sponsorship of the Arizona Center and Retail Therapy. So we're all together, man, all creating and stuff. And we just wanted that old school feel of an art walk where people are going through. There's nothing that's like with AI or Timu or anything that's resellers and stuff. These are genuine artisan made paintings and products and things like that I wanted to curate, and it's just great. The pricing is great. Everybody's has an affordable price for everyone that comes in. There's a little bit for everyone, but the vibes are great, man. And speaking of which, at the very last hour of every hour, we have the power hour, and what that consists of is DJ Phil the Vibe. What he does, he plays house music for that last hour. Now there's two things why we do that. One of them being that when people are packing up towards the end of the night, it's kind of give them a little bit, kind of grooving, moving and stuff, packing up. But that last hour of dance and stuff, people coming in, maybe the last hour saying, what do we miss here? Do we miss something? Is this been going on like this all night? It hasn't. But like the house music, other vibes were played. But what's really amazing, man, is that we always have little kids, man, that come out and dance. So every last hour of a First Friday, you see a bunch of kids dancing, little ones, bro, jumping out their strollers and dancing. And that's the environment that we want to create. My metrics is the more strollers I see, the more kids and families are here, and that's why we call it Family First Friday. So that's my baby. I've been doing that for quite a bit of time now, and that gets all of my attention currently in my career.
That's excellent stuff, man. Well, since moving to Phoenix, I'm very, very inspired by the amount of community art events there are specifically.
Yes.
Like when you mentioned, you're not really charging for the space, and to find that in 2026 is not a very common thing these days. So I think what you're doing is very important, man. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
thank you. I think like when I started to look at those things, I'm an artist myself, and I can never get past like charging my fellow artists, like charging them. Like, what would I do with that money, right? Well, I thought, well, maybe I'll put it back into maybe arts and crafts or something for the kids, or maybe I'll buy you a drink or buy you some food. Like, oh, that's kind of how I felt when it came to that. I felt really awkward, me as an artist, to be doing that. Now, some places do charge you, $100 for a booth rental and stuff like that. But what are they really giving you? Like, are there restrooms? You know what I mean? Is there lighting? There's a lot of stuff that sometimes people pay $100. They don't get none of that stuff, especially in these areas where there's no, it's just kind of like, some lots and things like that. So for what we're providing is a really good space. And I think that, what I tell all of my friends, I'm like, I know what it takes to create like an original piece. To sell an original piece to pay for your booth space and your parking space, it's hard. So the minute you sell your first piece, that's when you start to make your money. That's your money. You made that, you earned that, right? There's not, and I'm all good with accepting like tips, or somebody wants to break me off some, a tip or something, whatever. I'm cool with whatever. But that's the way I see it. You earned it. This is you. This is your space, and we'll see where it goes. There's some nights where people come through and they might only maybe sell $20 worth of things, of items. But what I do is I let them look at the other side of that. I'm like, how many business cards did you give away? How many connections? How many people? The person that's to the left or the right of you, did you get their information? Because they're gonna be the ones that are kind of giving you some of this information, where to set up and how to follow them. Just things like that, like those types of things. Followers, that is a form of currency. You know what I'm saying? It really
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
because those are potential murals and or art pieces or commissions. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Good stuff, man. Okay. Love what you're doing.
Thank you,
Highly, highly respect it.
thank you,
You referenced, though, you are an artist yourself, and a pretty
yes,
prolific and quite legendary one
thank
as
you.
well. And you go by another name, I know, AWER.
Yes. So, AWER is my artist name. It was well, it still is, but I am non-active. Is my graffiti writing name when I had started in the '90s.
So you were active in Phoenix doing
Yes.
graffiti in the 90s.
Yes.
Man, that's one thing. I've interviewed a few graffiti writers before,
Yeah.
and some of the stories, man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's one of the most unique, like, niches,
Yes. Yeah.
Talk a little bit about kind of your days running around Phoenix.
Yeah. So, when I was younger, I caught oh man, I had to have been like 10 years old, man. I saw a movie a documentary on PBS, Channel 8, and it was Style Wars.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Love
and
that film.
I really didn't understand. I can't even tell you what I thought of, what I mean, when that was happening, when I saw it, when I first saw it. But I know that there was a lot of the style of dance. There was this art form, as a kid, I'm just using markers and stuff like that. And I saw them using spray paint, which I was only seeing like my dad use spray paint and grandfather for certain things. I heard this music, this music that was coming off these turntables. I mean, that's when I saw it, when I first saw it. It wasn't until I was in high school when I was 17 years old, where I met a friend of mine that really inspired me and introduced me really to the culture. And I instantly, man, I just gravitated towards it. You know what I mean? Something about the shaking of the can, the style of the art, the music, the popping, the locking, the breaking, all that stuff just is what now I felt like I remember what I saw. Now I feel like I want to be a part of it. And ever since then, 17 years old till now, I'm 50. It's been a part of my life. Now, 24 years of that time, I made a different. I traded one passion for another.
Hmm.
During the '90s, it wasn't all the best of timing and stuff like that. As far as there was a lot of friends that were passing away, the graffiti culture and murals weren't really accepted and things like that. So I was kind of back and forth where I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to make something out of it. So I started that career a little bit, but then I had a daughter. I had a daughter at age 21. So I traded one passion for another, and I said, well, the '90s wasn't with graffiti wasn't really working out too much for me. So I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna become a father. So I did that for the longest time, and then when she got old enough to move out, have kids and things like that, I said, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do now? You know what I mean? So then I just came back. I came back again. I came back and just started, but I came back in a way that was different because now I'm an artist now and a curator and things like that. And I wanted just to do a muralist now. You know what I mean? And then to come to find out like how many different opportunities there were now after so many years, where restaurants and food trucks and businesses and uh, you know commercial jobs that people it was in demand. He became in demand. Like, where's all this coming from? All these shops I started to see that had graffiti caps and graffiti cans that were created. The spray paint that was created by graffiti writers in 1993. I was like, wow, it's definitely changed. And social media. Back then in the day, we couldn't really see artwork from other artists because unless you got a magazine and you made copies of it at best, if you had, we didn't have social media. Now we can see who's painting in Europe and Cali and New York and all these different things now. So it was a really different, it was a culture shock for me. Like, wow, this is amazing. However, I felt like I came back home, you know what I mean? And I wanted to contribute back to the culture again. But different though. I wanted to
Right.
inspire, I wanted to teach, have some, workshops, things like that, and learn, catch up with everything. So
Yeah, that's such an interesting example of what can happen in life. You're doing one thing, you have a kid, life completely changes,
yeah,
but you're still creative. You still want to do different things.
yeah,
And how do we evolve? I love that.
yeah,
Getting out of, I know the graffiti, that's like street culture. That's a lot to do with running around, things like that. But
yes,
I
yeah,
really respect how you've taken it to like a more professional level is kind of,
yeah.
I think, a way to put it.
I think with what happened is I was getting arrested a lot when I
And
was
that's
younger.
common in
Yes.
that game.
Yeah, I was one of the ones where I'd go back to the spot, take photos, or hang out. I don't know why, I just did. And when I started to get arrested more, and had my run in juvenile detention and stuff like that, my father wasn't too happy with that. Number one, the breakfast table, he would see tags on cereal boxes that he would drive in the neighborhood and see the tags on the walls. Like
Mm,
that's the kind of stuff I was doing. I was not supposed to be painting in my neighborhood, but this was happening. I was throwing the trash. I was writing my name on something, whatever. But it wasn't until I had that conversation with my dad where he had said, "Is this you?" Showed me like a box of cereal, and I said, I didn't own up to it, because I know this is you. He goes, and I need to let you know, man. This got to stop, man. You know what I mean? This isn't working out well for me. Especially like paying the restitution, the fines, things like that, and getting me out of jail, things like that. So he gave me a choice. He goes, a few things are going to happen. You're either going to move out, you're going to stop what you're doing, continue to go to school, or you're going to move out. You know what I mean? And you're just going to, if you want to pursue this, then this is what you're going to do. I don't know what you're doing with this. And I really didn't have an explanation for him. With the way graffiti writing happens, it just happens, bro. I know you're writing a name that you carry, that you're given, or you name yourself and stuff like that. But it's just this alter ego, man, that you become, and you just do it. So 2 weeks later, I left. I left the house because I really wanted to pursue that, but I wanted to do it in a different way. And that was one of the great things that I can, be thankful for my father was for, is because although he wasn't supportive of it at the time, he gave me a choice, which I had that choice to go and do, but he was there for me no matter what. Now, it's different now. Now he's one of my biggest fans. Shows up to all my events, calls me every once in a while. Hey, you're on the news again, or might open the paper, might see something that I'm attached to and stuff like that. He did help me with a few murals. One of them being for NASCAR for Phoenix Raceway. He helped me with a
Sick.
mural that was displayed in the Desert Diamond Casino in the West Valley, and I got to go and he got to go and see that with me and stuff. So it's been different. My mom was the first person to put me on. She's the first one that gave me my wall because during this time, all this was happening, and my dad was not really supportive of it. My mom was because at least I was doing it at home. So she had said one night, one day when we were having a discussion, well, it was an argument at the table about this new hobby I had. My dad was jumping all over me, and she had said in Spanish, "Déjalo," means leave him alone. And she goes, "You can paint if you want to paint. You can paint here. You can paint the backyard." And I'm like, man, I'm excited, man. I'm like, okay. She's but one condition, two conditions. You buy your own paint, and you paint something for me. And I think like a week and a half later, 2 weeks, it was the whole yard was painted. I just had to, bro. From this point, I was just doing tags, man. You know what I mean? Tags. That's it. I wasn't even doing like throwies and pieces. So I sketched some things out. Man, it was crazy. I would go to school, come home just to sketch everything out to have, and I just did. And I'm self-taught, which is very rare because now I've had some mentors throughout my career around graffiti art culture and stuff. But for me, I'm still experimenting and learning for myself. But that's my story, like at home with it, and how it's evolved because I wanted it to. I wanted more than just the tag. I wanted more than just getting up. I wanted to uh, I wanted to be out there, man. I wanted to be painting murals. Like I saw these murals and all these big giant pieces and all the things that were happening illegally and legal, and I'm like, I was so happy to be a part of that. I made a small little portfolio that I would carry around and stuff. I wasn't that set up for it, but I was getting walls. At 17, 18 years old. It was working. It was working for me.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
That's excellent, man. That's also an interesting story of parenting too. Of like,
yeah,
man, when you have a kid, I don't have any kids, but
yeah,
you want them to do well, but you also want them to do what they want, like enjoy what
yes,
they're doing,
yeah, yeah,
And what both your parents did, I think, is a
yeah,
great example of,
yeah,
hey, man, there's got to be some sternness and
yeah,
strictness, but you got to let your kid kind of be them
yeah,
too.
yeah. My I tell my dad this jokingly and stuff. I said, "Do you see why I would always go around you? He'd be right in front of me, and I had to go around you." And he's like, "I understand. I get it. I get what your passion was, and nothing was gonna stop you." So that's what I do when I do my lectures. I do lectures on community colleges and stuff about that, about finding that we're all blessed with a gift, and we need to tap into that. We're all blessed with that, and live your gift, man. You know what I mean? Like we all have it. Some students are unsure of it. Man, I don't quite know what I want yet, but I just explain to them that you're all blessed with something. Tap into it, and then I tell the parents when I do other lectures and stuff like that, I tell the parents when you hear a kid that's drumming in a room or a guitar, he's banging on something, and you just see something that's very habitual to them, and they keep doing it, and it might irritate you. They're figuring things out. Let that happen for a while. You know what I mean? Like, and see what happens. Give them a drum set. You know what I mean? Maybe they're just banging on pots and pans. You give them a drum set. Boom. Next thing you know, you're sitting in front of their concert. You got front row tickets. You don't know how it's gonna turn out. So
Yeah, you got to let them blossom. Got to see where it can go.
yeah, we just completed a 5,000 square foot mural in downtown Phoenix at the Arizona Center. And that was a mural that was approached to me by the cruise director, which I'm so honored and blessed to have received. And I brought in two of my artist friends, Adrian Ramirez and my other friend named Chroma, to come on and to take this journey with me and stuff. To not only like do something that was very epic and very like, man, this is amazing, bro. You're painting in downtown Phoenix,
Yeah.
like, and I'm grateful for them to be on the project with me and stuff, and we created together, and it was just amazing feeling. my first day when I got on the lift and we're about 30 feet up in the air, man, it was very overwhelming that everything all hit me at once. Even my childhood, being a grandfather, my new granddaughter that's coming, and just looking at this huge wall and being like, yo, this is how far I've came, right? They have their own individual stories, but this how far I've came to where I'm painting Arizona Center, somewhere where I used to hang out in the 90s, somewhere where I used to bring my daughter with her mom. And I'm here. And from going from my mom's backyard, from painting that, to my dad trying to stop me, to now he's my biggest fan, to some of the accomplishments that I have, that I've made, and achievements. It was the best feeling in the world. I had one of my students in one of the community college ask, like, if you were to stop right now for whatever reason, do you feel like you've accomplished all you wanted to? I'm like, absolutely. I don't need to travel the world. I don't need to paint the best murals or paint with the best artists. I think just being a part of the culture, contributing to it, the stories I have are my stories and adventures, and I'm good. I could retire right now and I'm straight, you know. So it's some really great things have been happening, and this was all a decision that I made because before this I was in the wine and spirits business for 17 years, and it was so crazy, man, because I was daydreaming about that artist. What happened to that guy? You know what I mean? But I was still drawing on napkins and drawing for friends and things like that. So it wouldn't have happened, man, if I didn't make that leap. And I'm so grateful that I did. That I left corporate world for it to tap into, bro. I can't tell you. Like I wake up every day, bro, and I'm grateful and thankful for everything and all the people that I meet. Like I'm painting for a purpose, bro. You know what I mean? And it's helped a lot of people, bro. Like as far as with mental illness, with people, friends, family, people I don't know, and just my art is like medicine, bro.
Yeah,
And that's the way I
really
see it,
is.
giving it to people. So I'm here for it.
Oh, that's so good, man. I'm laughing, smiling
Yeah.
because I'm in the corporate world. Every creative that I know that
Yeah.
was either in the corporate world or currently is, they speak about it the
Yeah.
exact same
Yeah.
way, man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, just gotta get out of there. Like,
Yeah.
it's so interesting. It's anti-creativity, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's like, no, stay in these strict
Yeah.
rules and
Yeah.
guidelines. And for a creative person, I
Yeah.
think most people are creative in some way.
Yes.
Fuck, man, it's tough.
Yes. And as I was a liquor salesman too, you could see it in my work when I was building these displays for around the holidays and stuff. Like you could see my artwork come, I was
Right.
creating things, sculpting things, buying things online and making these really fancy displays. I was still doing some kind of art form, but I just lost interest in it.
Yeah.
I did, and a lot of it, I'm not kidding you, man. When I started to see this movement, this art movement, mural movement in downtown Phoenix, with a lot of my friends growing up, it started to inspire me more. I was like, I wish I could have a piece like that. Good for them. I'm glad they're doing it still, whatever. So now, where I drive around town, I get to see my own stuff. You know what I mean? But it's never all for me. That's one thing about me is every time I get an opportunity, I don't look at it just for myself. The minute I get something, I always think of like 4 or 5 other people. It's so crazy. Like, and that's just who I am. You know what I mean? I like to share what I'm receiving in those blessings, and sometimes it's hard for me to accept it by myself. Because I'm like, I don't deserve that. You know what I mean? That's too much for just one person. So I try to distribute that through other people. So that's one thing I'm always hard on and stuff. You know what I mean? That, but I'm not selfish when it comes to that. You know what I mean?
And that's a great way to be, man. And
Yeah.
I think that's definitely contributed to your success.
Yeah.
Very big on what goes around comes around, whether
Yeah.
it's positive or negative,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think if you put more positivity out
Yeah.
there, it's
Yeah.
going to come back around.
I highly believe, bro, I've been putting nothing but good energy and vibes out there and not wanting anything in return. Hey, you know what? If you have a gig that you have room to put me on, whatever, I'll wash brushes for you, man. I can be a hammer and I could be a brush, bro. You know what I mean? And I can be an assistant. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? So that's one thing about me is I'm very humble with it. Like I don't expect anything. Like, hey, man, if you don't put me on something, that's cool. If 4 or 5 things have came to you and not me, it's cool. I'm still gonna cheer for you, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And I think you're a good person to have as kind of a resource in a way of like, nah, man, I built a career off of being humble, off of
Yeah.
being generous, off being creative,
Yeah.
as opposed to let me just make my ego as big as
Yeah.
possible and fuck everybody else.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
going to catch up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. One thing about me was finding my style, right? Finding what I want to do. Everything I do has to have drips and splashes and splatters because flares, things like that that I fell in love with in the graffiti culture and stuff. So I wanted to incorporate that. All of my pieces are gonna have that flavor in it. They're gonna have that hip hop flavor. If I can have spray paint in every one, I will. But my finding my style helped me with other things that finding my style, my artistic style, took a while. But what helped me too is meeting certain people that helped me with that. I have a really good friend named Sam Gomez from the Sagrado Gallery, and he really helped me define my style because there was a mercado that he was doing in South Phoenix, and he would invite me to paint live, and some of the things he was asking me to paint live were around Mexican culture. And I am, I'm Mexican American, but I wasn't really doing a lot of that style of art, but he asked me of it, and it was very intimidating because I didn't know, which happened for me to research that more of my culture, of some of the things I was painting. And that's how I found another direction of my art is Mexican folk art, the style that helped me find like who I am, my identity, my culture. It was wild. So not only like the hip hop culture and stuff too, with the element of graffiti, but also through that. That was man, that was awakening. You know what I mean? To paint in that style. So he helped with a lot of that as well. I got to give him credit for that, Sam Gomez. Shout out to him and Sagrado.
Shout out to Sam, man.
Yeah.
When you learn about yourself and you learn about your family, you learn about your culture, like, man, I
Yeah.
used that word already, humbling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very humbling.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. It was great.
Excellent, man. So when you got into the murals and doing the graffiti and all that, how did you make that switch into speaking with kids and doing that type of work? Because that's two different ball games, really.
Yeah. Oh God, God, that's a good question. Where did it start? Well, as I was moving forward in this journey, I started to meet a lot of teachers, a lot of people that were out there that they were hearing my story, but they wanted others to hear my story. Littles, you know what I mean? And they would invite me to do lectures or workshops or speak to their kids on career day. And I mean, being an artist is a career,
Sure.
so I would do that. So I got introduced that way, along with a lot of the city of Phoenix was starting to notice a lot of the workshops and things I was doing. They reached out, or organizations like Phoenix Raceway, NASCAR, things like that were starting to hit me up for workshops. You know what I mean? Just to not only like work with the kids, because one of the workshops I do is really it's a real popular one with stencils and spray paint that I do with the kids, and it's just bringing them into my world a little bit. And that's what they wanted to do. They just wanted something that was a little bit different than painting on markers on coloring pages and stuff. It was more exciting, and it's really cool, man, to see kids that are from the ages of, I'll be honest with you, man, as early as four to all the way up, bro. When they get a spray can in their hand, they don't want no help. It's something that just, I don't know, man. They're rattling the can, they're spraying, and they just. So what I'm just helping them do is just understand it, a little bit more of what that medium is, where it came from, and how it ties into my current work, murals and things like that. So and then ever since then, man, I've had 10 different workshops that I do year round, and a lot of them were just made up. One of the workshop that I'm talking about happened on First Friday. One year I was frustrated. I put in a year's worth of work painting live with one of my friends out there. ARC, which is named Ricky Reese, another graffiti writer, and I was frustrated, man. I had all these I don't know what they were, like branch stencils, tree stencils, and I had a bunch of canvases. Threw them on the floor and let the kids do whatever they want. And it was cool because he kind of came over my shoulder. He's like, "Bro, what's going on? This is crazy."
Yeah.
So all the kids were just getting involved. They were just painting and just letting them create. So I just kind of took it for what it was. Came back the next First Friday, had a little bit of a plan, and bro, the rest was history, bro. I made $300 that night. Then I think the next day I ended up going to Cali or something like that, and then it just became part of one of the things that I do. You know what I mean? Year round for the kids. So yeah, but
Love it, man. You never know what door might open.
yeah, just by accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So as someone that was active in the 90s and 2000s Phoenix graffiti culture, how has it changed 2026?
Well, for me, when I was writing, I used to do a lot of my stuff like solo. I did things by myself. It was time. I had time I needed away from home. You know what I mean? So I would do basically my dirt on my own. You know what I mean? But it was short lived. Because I wanted to be more of a want to do more of the mural, the not the mural part of it, but the writing, the letters part of it. So has it evolved? So a lot of friends during that time too. It was hard to catch up with those friends because you didn't know where they're going to be unless you had their phone numbers and you met up with them and things like that. So it is evolved and it's changed because those guys kept going, man. It's so great because I still know those guys that have still been painting all through that time. Yes, they had children, but they were able to balance to both. I chose not to. I chose to become a full-time father and stuff, But it has changed so much now, is it? Because you can walk into any restaurant right now and see graffiti letters on the walls. Like I said earlier about some of the hip hop shops. There's one that's here in Phoenix, Trill Hip Hop Shop, that at one time carried spray paint and caps and things like that. I'm just like, instead of taking these things from like stores and things that we would do, all these different things were happening. I mean, bro, you can see going down the street now into a restaurant, everything, there's just graffiti letters and that are written on inside the restaurant's name or whatever. I got hired by Walmart out in Avondale to do a mural. It was graffiti, bro. I did a Amazon mural for them, for Amazon Fulfillment Center on the west side. It was crazy that all the artist calls I was getting for the style that they want. I'm like, you sure that's what you want? And they're like, yeah, that's what we want. But it was crazy with Amazon because at the time, I wasn't really following like the Amazon, business and stuff like that and everything. I wasn't purchasing anything. But when I was there and I was painting this mural, the admin at the time said, "We love your work. We've seen you online. We want you to do something that's, kind of for, our current employees, or a lot younger generation. We want to get past." They had some cowboy stuff on the wall. We want to do something different. But as long as you make the letters legible, because when Mr. Bezos takes a visit here, we don't want him to see something that he cannot read. And I didn't know who he was, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It wasn't until a couple of months later I finally found out who he was. I'm like, oh damn, like he visits the site. You know what I mean? So that was great to see. So it's changed because I see it everywhere. It's not just in alleys and on river bottoms and
Right.
Abandoned buildings and houses and things like that. Like it's there, it's out there. You know what I mean? So, and that's exciting. That's exciting to see that that element of the hip hop culture is finally getting its love.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that. Now, how it's changed too is muralists. Muralists use that medium, right? They use a spray paint medium, but everybody has to acknowledge and give respect to where did the whole using of the spray can start from? Started from graffiti culture. Graffiti culture, graffiti art is one of the longest forms of art in history, bro. You know what I mean? It was created by kids. You know what I mean? I've heard this from many, many different forefathers. They were before me that tell these stories, and I pay attention to these things. You know what I mean? And to share those and stuff. That's what it was. So knowing and accepting that urban art, or whatever you want to call it, murals or whatever, it started from that. So that's why you see a lot of the muralists using spray paint. They just got to give, some respect to that, you know what I mean, too. And a lot of them do. And a lot of the graffiti writers are now muralists. Amazing work. Some of the work that you see out there, man, is just unbelievable. That it's done with a spray can. I'm not talking airbrush. I'm talking a spray can. It's incredible. So I have some really good muralist friends that I work with. When we work together, I bring on different cap systems and different tips and tricks to share with them as they share with me, because they do a lot of brush work too. So learning together has been very successful for me. You know what I mean? And I'm not out there like, hey, you're trying to be a graffiti writer or whatever it is. No, that's just the medium that they use. Respectfully, cool. Let's learn together. Let's vibe together. You know what I mean? See what we can create. So, but it's definitely changed in a good way, great way.
I feel like Phoenix as a whole has just grown so much over the last. I've only been here a couple years, but
Yeah.
everyone I talk to that's been here for a while, they say, "Man, it's much different than it was.
Yeah.
Bigger,
Oh yeah, it has, man. Even God, like just the city alone, being downtown, like we painted that mural, so much traffic and people that we're seeing. It's grown a lot. So it's only gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? With music, with art, people, everything grows.
Yeah.
And that did, and it definitely has its place here in the valley. I mean, Phoenix Arts and Culture gives out grants yearly for murals and stuff like that. So it's great to see. And some of these murals are all, spray paint. The medium of spray paint used.
100%, man. And it's hard to be mad at it when the talent is so
Yeah.
unbelievable. And
Yeah, you gotta give respect. I
Yeah.
sit there and I look at people, man. I'm like, okay, that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, they're not a graffiti writer. They're a muralist, and they're killing it with that can. You know what I mean? And that's really amazing. So
Absolutely, man. There's a question I just was curious about because this has been in the news a little bit. Like First Fridays, there's been some negativity attached to certain aspects of it.
Yeah.
How do you manage to kind of stay separate from those headlines?
So I've had, like I said, I've experienced it a few times. I even went a few years ago, even before I was painting again, and I noticed that a lot of it was people were purchasing, instead of making jewelry, they were buying jewelry. Instead of making art, they were purchasing art, things like that. So that kind of stuff started to
Cash
change.
grab type stuff.
Yeah, that was happening and stuff. And then, downtown started to change. There started to be more of not art spaces and museums anymore. It was more of like bars and restaurants and
Yeah.
things like that started happening. So there was a lot of drinking that was going on. There was a lot of smoking going on, fighting, just a lot of riffraff, And I myself, prior to me being the artist coordinator at the Arizona Center, it didn't feel the vibes.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I was a part of something. I felt unsafe. You know what I mean? It was crazy to say that. The parking was super expensive. Some of the places were really dark, and I'm a guy, man. You know what I mean? So imagine how
Yeah.
a woman would feel down there. But over at the Arizona Center, and how we separate ourselves is we like what we've built with community and with families and stuff, because one thing about downtown is a lot of families weren't going there really anymore with their kids, with their little ones, and we're like, how do we do that? How do we get that back here? So we started doing activities and stuff like we have like bounce houses, and we have like those dinosaurs that come out and stuff and with the kids, and even our music. My friend goes through all that, takes the explicit lyrics out of it and things like that. So we're just kind of tailoring it to where it was a nice place to not only have fun, but to have some memories with your kids, that you could bring your little ones and have a good time. I do know of the activities and things that are over there. We tried, I think a couple of months ago, we went over there on one of those little buggy things, and we were there for 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I want to see. I haven't been here in a while. Let me go see. We didn't even get out.
Yo.
It was hectic, bro.
It's
You know
too
what I mean?
hectic.
Yeah, and I just said, you know what? Respectfully, you know what I mean? That's what's happening over there. This is what we have over here, and we're doing it well. We're doing it well because you have to keep in mind it's just not locals that are coming to First Fridays. It's out of towners and
Right.
people that are staying at the Sheraton Hotel and all the the hotels in the area that are visiting and stuff. So they're coming into and seeing the Arizona Center First Friday, and having a different experience where they can come out and just come out for the evening and buy a few little things they can take back home, and that's what we provide for them. Just a safe place,
Oh
not
yeah.
only for our visitors, but for our vendors and artists and things like that. It was a couple of months ago where we were having First Friday, and instantly everyone started to they started coughing, burning their
Bro,
eyes were
my friends
burning.
were there, man.
Yeah,
They were telling me about
yeah,
that.
it was wild.
Pepper spray.
Yeah, and what
Yeah.
was happening is we didn't. I thought somebody maybe opened some chili or something that they had. That there was a vendor, and I don't know, maybe the jar dropped or something. I don't know, and I thought that's what it was. I couldn't really figure out what it was, but at some point everybody was coughing and rubbing their eyes and stuff. Come to find out that 2 blocks away they had used pepper spray on the crowd, and it just kind of came over. So there's always been signs of what we're doing is working out very well for us, and we want to continue that. We want to continue growing with the city. We want the Arizona Center to be the hub of Family First Friday. That's what my mission is, to do that. How do I do that? And that's really, really watching out for everyone, vendors and visitors
Yeah.
and artists alike. So
That's excellent, man. And I know exactly the Friday you're talking about. It's right around Christmas time.
yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But no, what you're saying is some real stuff, man. And I've noticed there's some good stuff going on in Phoenix, Tempe, whatever. Like recently I went to the Tempe library just up the street, had like a Mexican event, like lowriders and all these different cool Mexican like cultural paintings and stuff, like real shit. Like the people involved are real, like OGs in this.
yeah,
And but it's hosted by a library. I'm like, that's such a cool contrast,
yeah,
It keeps that, it's still got that street feel, that, kind of underground feel, that
yeah,
authentic feel, but it's safe.
yeah.
You could bring your kids, you can appreciate culture. It was very cool, man.
Yeah, the markets have changed. Whether it's markets because you also have second Fridays, third Fridays, things like that. You have first Fridays, but I think what's happening now is that people are being more creative. We have this community mural wall that we have. There's these 4 walls that we built for anyone to come up and make their mark and draw their name, or write their name or draw something. And it's a big hit, bro. We have to flip it twice within the event. We have up to 200, sometimes up to 200 people that come and just make
Sick.
their mark and stuff. So it's things like that that you haven't really seen before. I always tell everybody that we're the biggest First Friday, that we have the biggest space for all the artists to paint live, not including the 20 artists that show up, but all the other ones too, because everybody's all creating drawing and stuff like
Right.
that. So it's just what you're introducing to your markets and stuff like that, right? So one of the things I've seen is just that lowrider culture, where you're having, whether it's the bikes, the cars, whether they're doing demos and stuff, where they're doing hydraulics, things like that.
Love it.
They're having them themed, which is really cool, and they're all over the valley now, man.
Yeah.
I think that everybody got inspired, through everyone, because we all kind of follow each other's social medias and stuff like that. And we all kind of maybe at one point have visited or set up or paint, and I think we've all kind of took from that, and kind of created a really good environment. Man, First Fridays, they're a great thing, man. Like one good thing, one thing that I can give props to for downtown is they're the biggest First Friday in the nation. Not anymore, obviously, but these are destinations that people were going to. They wanted
Yep.
to see what's happening here for this First Friday. We hear about it all the time. Vegas has them. They all have them. You know what I mean? Everywhere. My friend curates the one out in Las Vegas. But it's it's amazing how everybody from the South Phoenix, North Phoenix, East, West, that are having these. They're still having these little pop-ups, markets, mercados, or what do you want to call them. and they're just making them very fun, unique. I'm like, man, if I wasn't curating this First Friday and it wasn't here, I would want to take my grandchildren
Yeah.
to go to one, different ones. I think it's a destination now for families. I mean, say I think that's in a lot of households now. Hey, it's Family First Friday. Which one are we going to? Because there are, there's food, there are things for all ages for
Yeah.
kids to buy, and artwork and jewelry and things like
You
that.
meet
So
cool people.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, absolutely, bro. I think it sums up Phoenix in an interesting way too, because LA's always gonna get the headlines. Vegas even to an extent, but Phoenix, man, there's a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you know about it, if you
Yeah.
know where to go, if you know some people,
Yeah.
there's a shitload going on here,
Yeah.
man.
Oh,
Inspiring stuff too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now, since everyone has, because they didn't shut down downtown Phoenix, what they did is that the galleries are still open, the restaurants are still open, the retail shops are still open. What they don't do is they don't shut down the streets.
Yes.
So, but everyone has been really creative to, whether they live in the neighborhood or maybe surrounding neighborhoods and stuff like that, they're just all still getting together and they're still like setting up vendors and selling food and things like that. That's awesome. Now you went from it being contained, right, for everyone to revisit it, maybe reimagine it, whatever. They'll come back to it eventually. But now it's just spread out even more now.
Yes.
It's all over the place, and we've kind of absorbed some of those vendors as well. We are capped off, I think, at 60 vendors is what we take on. But they all came over, man, and it's great because they're like, welcome, welcome, set up here, and this is kind of what we do here. Like what I do at Family First Friday is I have to meet you, I have to know you. You know what I mean? First name basis. We could be talking on the phone, have a cup of coffee together, whatever. Like, I want you to be able to come into our community, but I gotta know you. You gotta know me. You gotta know me, the curator, rather than just, hey, here, pay this. Here's a number. Here, go here. So I make it very. It doesn't take a lot of time. To talk to somebody for 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I mean? But they understand like there's someone to go to now, because a lot of the different markets when you go and you show up to, you don't know who's who. If there's an emergency, it's a first aid kit. Okay, well, who do I see? Who's running all this? You know what I mean? Just the simplest things that you don't think of, that when there's somebody there that is, curating or in charge or whatever the case may be, it just, I don't know, it just becomes more family, more family togetherness and community. So,
Hell yeah, man. It sounds like, hey, you're 50 years old, but you're working harder than ever and
Yeah,
you're
man.
out more than ever. I love that, man.
Man, I have more meetings, more emails, and more like, God, man, presentations than ever in the 17 years I worked as a wine and spirits salesman. But it's great because it's for me.
Yes.
I'm self-employed. It's for my business or for the people that I work with, representing them. So it's a great feeling. You know what I mean? It's a great feeling to have work as an artist, because sometimes there was a time in 2023 when I didn't have any work, man. I said, for this month in August of 2023, I'm just going to paint as many canvases and just focus on this, because I do not want to go back to the corporate world. However, I could have. All I had to do was make a phone call and boom, I was back in it, but I didn't want to. I'm like, I can't. I got to give this a shot, man. At least a good year. You know what I mean? That I could give it. And it's now going on, I believe 5 or 6 years. I don't even keep track. It's about 5 or 6 years that I've been doing it, where I sustain myself. My artwork is sustaining me. It pays my bills, food, gas, everything. I'm able to purchase all the things I need. What I tell all of my students, all of my mentees and things like that, or just friends, bro, I'm like, anytime you're blessed by any job, every job, it doesn't matter. Always do these 3 things. Number 1, buy something for yourself. Don't matter what it is. Just buy something for you. Number 2, buy some equipment. Maybe you don't necessarily need it, or maybe there's something that you did really want. And then number 3, bless somebody. Take a friend out to lunch, dinner, whatever. Buy them something. Take them to the movies, whatever. And since I've been doing that, man, I've had the most blessings, bro. What I've had so many artist friends and just friends in general have donated so many art supplies to me. It's ridiculous on how much I have. but I'm able to bless those for other people. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm receiving those because of this. So I'm going to continue this. So just at random, I'll be with a friend or somewhere and we're walking around maybe First Friday or something and I'll buy him some tea. Or, hey man, I bought you lunch. Or, let me buy your lunch or something. You know what I mean? So, and it's so such a small thing to do. You're still taking care of yourself. Actually, you're taking care of yourself twice. You're buying yourself something and you're contributing to your career. You know what I mean? But the third one is just showing that you're not selfish. You know what I mean? You're selfless. You know what I mean? You're just kind of buying a cup of coffee to somebody. It could be a stranger, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. Or just buy something from somebody. I don't know. Maybe they're a vendor and you want to buy something off their table. Just do that.
Yep. You're touching on some really important topics, man. Like
Yeah.
the whole, just everything community wise.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about, you hear this in modern society, like people are so lonely and this and that. Well, it does take some effort to be around people. It takes effort for community. You have to show up. You have to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for you to kind of be big on that, like, hey, let me do something for someone else.
Yeah.
They'll probably do something for someone else too.
Yes.
You know, that's how it gets rolling. We can't do it just from
Yeah.
fucking around. You
Yes.
got to put some
Yeah.
action into it,
Yes.
some effort, you
Yes.
know? So I really like how you're going about that.
Thank you. A lot of the times too, when I walk into these spaces, and this is, I'm glad I'm mentioning this, but if I walk into a space and the opportunity isn't for me and I think of someone else, I let that person know, you know? Are people mentioning me in a room full of opportunities? I don't know. Maybe, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I always do that for everyone. I'm really good at watching people's growth, their self-development on Instagram as far as their artwork and how, what they're doing and how they're curating their page. And typically what I do is I reach out to them, put them on jobs with me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I've been watching you for the past 6 months. You've been doing an amazing job on just your line work or your fill-ins, or I'm entertained. You know what I mean? You're curating it, great.
Yeah.
So I'll bring people on like that too. So that's one of the things that I strive to do too, is whenever you have somebody that's looking for a portrait or something that maybe I necessarily don't have the time for, maybe I can't do, I know of someone else that can. You know what I mean? So I'm really good at that too. So that's another thing, bro. I think that it does work.
Yeah.
Being selfless, bro, and just being very humble with things, and doing that really keeps everything moving. Because as I'm giving things out, things are coming back in abundance, and I'm like, and it's so wild because when those things do happen, something clicks on my brain like, you got this because of this. You remember this? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be. I'm not sure.
No, for sure.
You know what I
bro.
mean? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just keep doing it. So I tell people that. I tell my students that, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you're if you have an iPad and you have Procreate, you know what I mean? Like, you're valuable in this group because we're all practical artists. You're digital, okay? So us learning that helps the group. We're all moving and elevating together and stuff. So, which I had a project like that a few months ago in the Palomino neighborhood association in North Phoenix. I had a all female mural team come and help me design and paint a mural for a Love Your Block grant that was out there. It was sponsored by Home Depot, Neighborhood Services, Phoenix Water Smart, Phoenix Revitalization Corporation. Like, they came out and stuff, and I just was talk to them about all those different things, how important that artist was and how we can learn from her. And then she's learning from me right now, you know what I mean? Like, just how we're in discussion about art and where you want to go with it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a profession right now. It could be fun as a hobby, but do you have those tools? And some of them don't, you know what I mean? And that's why when I have this abundance of art supplies, I know who to give them to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To help with their careers and stuff,
Some deep shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's some deep shit. Because to be honest, you might never know the impact you have on someone else.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the point.
Yeah. So I can share a story. So I've also worked, I currently work as a art teacher in Durango Juvenile Detention. And I've been there for, I'm going to say, almost 9 years now.
Damn.
And what they do is they contract me to come in and do some workshops with the students because that's what we're calling them right now. You know, it's a school.
Students.
Yeah, yeah. So I've had hundreds and hundreds of students, bro, in the 9 years, and because I've been there for so long, a lot of them are getting out of prison, and they're finding me, whether it's on Instagram or seeing them out in the street and things like that, and just explain to me like, bro, everything you taught me and everything you talked about, it made sense to me, bro. Like, you know what I mean? My life is doing better. I'm not an artist, you know what I mean? But things are just going really good for me and stuff. So I'm super proud of them. Here's another thing. I have my artist friends go in there because I also give them the opportunity. They'll do a workshop for 2 hours and stuff. And my admin that is currently with me, she did a workshop and she shared this story with me a few years ago that she was just walking in a mall, I believe with a family member, and this girl I think it was a girl or a boy, I'm not sure, I think it was a girl, ran up to her and just was hugging her and crying in her arms, and she couldn't push her away enough to look who she was, you know what I mean? But when she did, she saw her, and she goes, "Do you remember me?" And she goes, "I was one of your students in your class." She was crying, and her parents were with her, and then she explained to her parents who she was, you know what I mean?
Damn.
And my admin Abby had told me that story. She said, "I cried, Adrian. That was crazy. Thank you for doing that for me." You know what I mean? Like, because that was for her. You know what I mean? Like that helped with her with another, uh, youth that was going through some things,
Yeah.
and that was no longer going through that anymore, but can just be like, "Thank you. Like you showed love, and I'm doing good here with my family now. So here's my family." And so that was really great. A lot of stories, bro, have been shared with me of some of the things I've blessed other artists with, that they've came back and they've just have been very grateful and thankful for. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, thank you for telling me that. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, without you, I wouldn't have had this. You know what I mean? One of the This is amazing. One of my friends that I brought on to one of my projects, we were painting one day, 30 feet up in the air, and we're just talking about what are we going to do with the money, when we get paid after this job. And he's really close with his mother, but she doesn't live here. She lives in Mexico City. And he goes, man, you know what I've been wanting to do for my mom for the longest time, bro, is I want to get her some hearing aids, man. I haven't ever been able to do that, you know what I mean? Because it's expensive, And this was a job that I brought him on, and because I wasn't expecting that, you know what I mean? But without him saying it, like, thank you, you know what I mean? Like, I could have never done that, bro, you know what I mean? So that right there told me, number one, that you were the right person for this project. You know what I mean? Just for that alone. You know what I mean? And I trust this guy with my life. You know what I mean? He's in his 30s. Both of the guys were, and I trusted my life with both these guys, with both great dudes. And my other friend had shared with me too some things that he was gonna do with his fiance. And, like the traveling and the things that we're gonna do. And that was great. That was cool. I was like, it felt good because I'm like, I didn't say it, but I'm like, I'm glad I can make that happen for
Hell
you
yeah,
guys.
man.
And I will do it again 10 times over. So, and because that's what it is, bro. You know what I mean? It's just a great feeling to be blessed and bless others and just not expect anything. I didn't want anything.
That's real. Honestly, that's like freedom too.
Yeah.
I don't need anything from this, man. Just take it. I
Yeah.
want you to have it.
Bro, it feels, when you do that,
beautiful.
bro, like you have this, I think I've painted live enough. I haven't done a whole bunch of murals. I don't have like thousands of murals under my belt and stuff like that. But when you can like just bless people like that, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, you got this, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you do this, or it's a job for me, but you got this, or whatever. It feels great to have that, bro. Like,
Yeah.
number one, it says that I'm good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm taken care of. But it's also just be like, hey man, this was meant for me. But I'm giving it to you now and stuff. So just changing people's path just through little things like that, blessings that kind of just ricochet, boom, boom. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
No, it's unbelievable, bro. You're a good role model, man.
Thank you,
You're a
man.
good role
Thank you.
model. You've been doing it for a long time, and
Yeah.
you're still doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Which is very important, and you're showing a path for younger people. I think that's really, really good stuff, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely commend you, bro. I was curious to ask you before we wrap it up. Is this AWER or
Yeah.
is that's yours? Okay.
Yeah, so this is a design. I got invited to
That's
an
awesome.
event in Santa Ana, out in California. It was called Burning Season, and man, I didn't have a plan. I normally don't have a plan.
Hell yeah.
Usually, when it comes
Speaking my
to
language.
yeah, usually when it comes to painting, graffiti letters or anything like that, creating a piece, a masterpiece. If you can't just walk up to the wall with 6 cans of paint, bro, and create, you shouldn't even be in the game. And
Yeah.
I took more than 6 cans. I took a whole bunch. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was gonna paint. I didn't know what was going on. I knew it wasn't this event, and this is what I came up with on the wall. My friend got it. He got a photo of it. I think I posted it and stuff, and he turned it into a shirt for me. I didn't even do it, and it ended up being one of my best-selling shirts.
Fire.
Which is this one. I'm like, and I told him, like, what would you want that one for, bro? He's like, bro, that's a dope design. I'm like, bro, I just threw it together, dude. And he's like, that's the best thing about it. And I'm like, all right, let's run it then. As soon as I made shirts, they were gone. This is like one of the last ones that I have.
Sick, bro. If they do a restock, I want one, man.
Thank you, man.
But yeah, that rawness is, people can see that. They know when it's some real authentic shit.
Yeah.
You mentioned in the beginning, it's not AI.
Yeah.
It's some real stuff.
Yeah, it is, and that's another thing too that a lot of people ask me about too, is like, what do you think about this?
Mm-hmm.
It's artificial intelligence and all this stuff that's happening with not only just art but just in general for everything. But on the art side of it is like, I was against it at first, because no artist should be using that and making like flyers with it and or designs with it for murals. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a human element to it.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I agree.
I think that you can use it as a tool.
Yes.
So that's why I said, well, if that's the case, then we shouldn't be using projectors. We shouldn't be using anything that is helping us, lifts.
Right.
All these different things that help us, right? It's just a tool that you have. It's spooky. It's really a trip, bro. When I tried it, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it, and I typed in some things because I had an image that I couldn't draw. I took it to the limits where I could sketch and have it dynamic drawing and everything that I wanted to do. And I was sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna try it, and I did. And when it was buffering, when it was trying to to complete, and when it showed me, bro, it blew my mind, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I was trying to draw, but it did it, and I was like, yo, and I put my phone down. Like, that's kind of weird, man. You know what I mean? But I took what I could from it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm not gonna make it exactly that, but I'm gonna do this and stuff. So it's very interesting. You know what I mean? Where AI is at right now and stuff.
I feel like it could be like, it's almost like it could be a toxic relationship. Like, when it's good, it's great, but then you get too used to it, or you use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're kind of hooked.
Yeah, exactly. That's how Procreate has been for a few of my friends. One in particular had said that because he used to paint graffiti letters, and he's amazing, dope artist, man, great friend. And because he was doing so much on on Procreate, on the iPad Procreate and stuff like that, when he would go to paint, there was a lot of things that were he can't do on Procreate he was doing. He's like, bro, I've worked on it so much, bro, that I'm expecting this to happen, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's confusing. You know what I mean? Like, on that, So I'm like, yeah, it's part of you being in that, being so attached to that. You know what I mean? And not dependent on it, but just experimenting a lot with it and stuff. You're kind of like, hooked on it. You know what I mean? It's just like tattooing, man. Tattooing has changed too with the coil machine versus like all the Bluetooth and pneumatic machines and things they have. I mean,
crazy.
It's very rare, bro. When I love, I'm loyal to the coil, bro. I love those old school pissed off yellow jacket tattoo machines. That's all I know.
Right.
But when you start to go in these conventions now and you don't hear like the machines going off, because when you go into convention, bro, they're just going off, bro. Like, it's this beehive or this wasp nest you just walked into. You don't hear that anymore. So you might hear it here and there, but things change and things evolve. So I still stay practical to my craft. Am I experimenting with some digital? Yeah, cool. Like, if I use a projector, okay, cool. Some people say they're cheating, but when I want to do a job and I want to be there in and out versus forever, I will use this tool because I still got to paint it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did that, you know what I mean? But I got to still come behind it and do other things. But it's just a tool, you know what I mean? So
For sure.
it took me a while to accept it, but to each his own, man. I'm cool with it.
Exactly. It's also so new that we gotta still let it play out too. Like, let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, I've seen flyers where
Curious.
I've picked apart people having flyers where everything's twisted. You have like 6 fingers on one hand, or you got 2 right hands, or a twisted ear or something. You know what I mean? So look at it now; it's figuring itself out and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I know it's you got to give it some time, but use it as a tool. You know what I mean? It's your lifeline call. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, because it's hard to explain or FaceTime with friends and stuff. You know what I mean? What you're trying. Well, you're the artist, bro. So it's like, let me just run it through here. And
Yeah.
I've ran, and it's so funny, man, because I have fellow friends that I draw with and stuff. And sometimes when they get up to, get a drink of water, or whatever, I'll take a picture of their work they're working on, and then I'll show it to them when they sit down. I'm like, check this out, bro. You ran it through AI, bro. I'm like, I just want to see it, like how it was, But it's fun because they're like, hey, that's pretty good. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's your work, you know what I mean? So, but just mess around with stuff like that, So
Yeah, man. Hey, that's what it's for at this point. Fuck.
yeah, experimenting.
See? Yeah.
So
Damn, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I am curious. One last question
Yeah,
for
sure.
you. The name AWER. What's the background behind that?
So when that's a good one too. So when you are inspired by the graffiti bug and you're starting to enter the new world of writing, style writing, you have to come up with a name for yourself. One that's not existing, somebody that has it already, and or somebody that has passed away, things like that. It's your moniker, it's your tag, it's your alter ego. You know what I mean? I can't be writing Adrian everywhere. You know what I mean? So when I was told, when I was inspired by that I could have my own name, and I was all over the place with that, like, because I was looking at all these different names from all these different artists from New York and California and stuff. And again, we didn't have social media to search that. You just kind of had to know through the storytelling and through the magazines that were coming or the movies of who was who. So I started to have all these lists of names that I would make up, and they just weren't working out. The flow wasn't good on them. They were too long. They were too close to being my own name. Things like that until I had one of my friends come to my house. He was watching me paint, and I was having difficulty, and I just said it, I mean, like, yo, man, I can't seem to figure this out, bro. And I have 4 or 5 names I'm jumping between. So you got to pick one, bro. You're writing them all over the place, like 5 different people. And I'm like, I don't know, man. He goes, how about AWER? Right. And it doesn't look like that because people call it AWER, AWER, things
Yeah.
like that. But how about AWER?
AWER.
Yeah. And he's like, how about AWER? And I said, And this was before, respectfully, that from In Decline, there is an AWER from In Decline that passed away,
Okay.
and rest in peace. But this was before I even knew of that graffiti artist. So I said, okay. Well, okay, cool. Why AWER? You know what I mean? It's because, bro, like you kind of like, you're awake. You can see the future. Every time you talk to me, bro, you're always like, with art and stuff, you're seeing what the next step or what's going to be in your way and these obstacles and troubleshooting and stuff. You're just aware of things. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. He goes, but don't write it like that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, how do I write it? He goes, write AWER. And it was like crazy, bro, because I remember being so young, and when I did it, the first time I did it, this weird like energy came over me, like, I got my super hero name. You know what I mean? What am I gonna do with this? So it stuck with me ever since. And what I tell people, because I hear people in conversation and they always say it differently. If they say AWER, our, whatever they call, they don't know me personally. I don't correct anybody. When that happens, when people call me AWER, it's because they know me. They know me through friends. They've heard me say it.
Yes.
So all the people that don't know it maybe don't know it. So people correct themselves. Do you mean AWER? Oh, okay. Well, you're saying it wrong.
Right.
I let them do that.
Sick. Love that.
So yeah.
No, that's gangster, bro. I actually was thinking, like, how do you pronounce this? And I watched, there's a clip on your Instagram of a pretty recent mural that you did
Yes.
that was really sick. And it was
Yeah.
really well filmed. I forget who filmed it.
Yes.
But you introduced yourself. I'm like, oh, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, man.
And then and there are different AWERs in different cities, but it's like there's different Davids. There's
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's different Johns.
It's a big world out there.
You know what I'm saying? And they're different from I'm aware from Phoenix, bro. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire, man. Well, AWER, I fuck with you, man.
Thank you,
You're
man.
a legend in the city for sure. I really, really appreciate you coming by, and I love what you're doing, especially for the families, for the young kids. Keep that up, man. It's
Thank you, man.
awesome stuff.
Appreciate
Is there anything you'd like to promote before we wrap this up?
I want to shout out my crew, man. For your Styles crew. I'm the artistic director for the crew. I've known these guys since the 90s. And if it wasn't for them to bring me on as a member, as a part of their family, to be a practitioner of the hip hop element, I wouldn't have got the accolades that I do because of them. Shout out to B-Boy Groove, B-Boy House, DJ Action, Johnny, DJ Reflection, everyone in the crew, man, just kind of believed in me to take that responsibility to represent the crew, black and yellow all the way, man, down by law. And just very grateful and thankful, man, that these guys, man, had really brought me on because I get to share that. I get to share not only their legacy, but hey, man, I get to represent one of the pillars of the hip hop culture, and I get to share it with my grandsons, because my grandsons at one point and my granddaughter are gonna take over me for one day. So mad respect to Furious Styles crew. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys so much.
Shout out to the crew, man. Keep killing it. Adrian Garcia, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
VersatileVigilante, like, comment, subscribe, all that.
Thank you.
We're out here, man. Phoenix 2026.